What is up, you guys? My name is Breyonna, and today we are going to be testing out the brand new Colourpop Wild Nothing collection, which I'm actually really excited for. Normally, I'm really into, like my colorful eyeshadows and my dark orange smoky eyes, but this collection, for some odd reason, just really spoke to me, and it has like this beautiful, like desert, whimsical kind of vibe to it. This is a fairly decent sized collection though, like there is a lot of pieces to it, but there's also two new products that I'm really excited to try. And the first one is these cream eyeshadows. Oop, I forgot one. There's actually 4 of them. And I'll do some swatches later on, but I'm actually really excited to try these because apparently you can use them as an eye primer or, just as a cream eyeshadow for like a simple eye look. And there's also this brand new Luxe Lip Oil. And these look so cute. I love these kind of like neutrally, kind of like peachy colored ones. Those ones just seem like they're going to be perfect for fall time. And with this collection, we also have an eyeshadow palette, and this one, again, super beautiful. Love the colors of it. Again, it's very neutral, but you also have like these really unique shades in here, like this kind of like sage green shimmer shade. And also some of these like peachy ones just have a really cool vibe to them. With this collection, we also have 2 Jelly Much eyeshadows, and again, I'll do swatches in a minute. And lastly, we have 3 pressed powdered cheeks, which again, I'm really excited for because these are one of my favorite blush formulas like ever. And the packaging of it, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's these cute little cacti with gold foil detailing. But again, since there is a lot of pieces to this collection, we're gonna just jump right into it. But before we do that though, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page, it is @BreyonnaFaye. So to prime the eyes, again, I'm just going to go in with the cream eyeshadows today, and the colors that we have is this first one called Bronco. I'm kind of considering using this one just because I feel like it's the closest one to my skin tone. And we also have this kind of like caramel color called Camouflage. And all of these have a matte finish, and this one is called Laurel, and it's a little bit more of like a cool tone taupey color. And then we also have this one right here called Moonbeam. And this one's the deepest one. I'm torn between using Bronco or Laurel because part of me wants to use Bronco because I feel like it's the closest to my skin tone, and then the other part of me likes Laurel because it's cool tone. But I think I'm gonna go in with Laurel just because, why not? And I love a good cool tone moment. And I'm just gonna be taking it on this Luxie 209 large shader brush. And I'm just going to be popping this right on my lid. And again, we're going to be using this as an eye primer today, so I have nothing on my eye right now. You know what, I'm just going to do another layer just to build it up a little bit. But it definitely seems like it's a little bit on the sheer side, but again, you can build it if you want to. And formula-wise, it's not like super crazy creamy. It kind of reminds me of like a MAC paint pot. Like it just has like that certain feel to it. And let's swatch them all because I want to show you guys like all the colors. But this is the first one, and this is Bronco. And as you can see, they're a little bit more on the sheer side. Here is Laurel, which again is the taupey one that we used. Here is Camouflage. And I will say, like, these dry down really fast. Like, you literally have to work so quick with these because they dry down so fast, so you don't get a lot of wiggle room with them. And then the last one is Moonbeam. Ooh, that one is so pretty. This one seems a little bit more creamy with the formula than the other 3. And then here's what they look like up close. So now we're going to be going in with the palette, and I just can't get over how beautiful the packaging is. And I think the first shade I want to go in with is this kind of like lighter, kind of like peachy color called Top Down. And I'm just going to be taking it on this brush from Luxie, and this is a 205 tapered blending brush. And I'm first just going to be popping this right into my crease. And then afterwards, I'm just going to do these little circular motions to blend that upwards towards my brow, and also using it to round out my outer V. So I'm just going to go in with a second layer just to build it up a little bit. But is it me, or is it almost the exact same color as Laurel, but just like a little bit more peachy? Like it just has like a little bit more orange to it. And then using that same brush, I'm just going to dip into this orangey peachy shade in the palette called Morningside. And again, I'm just going to be applying it into my crease just to deepen it up a little bit. Because, Top Down was a cute shade, but you guys know I like my colors really bright. And this is probably the brightest color in this palette. Ooh, that's a pretty color though. Normally I'm not into peaches, but this one's really pretty. And again, I'm just going to build it up a little bit because I do want to get a little bit more definition in my crease. But so far it seems like these shadows are applying really nice over that cream shadow. Like they're not skipping, they're not doing anything funny, they're not grabbing. They just look nice and smooth. And you can even see on my other eye, like the cream shadow did not crease at all, and it doesn't look cakey or crusty. Like in the past I have used cream shadows and I wasn't a fan because a lot of times they just look so thick on the eye, they crease, they look a little bit funny, they're hard to blend out. But so far I'm just liking this cream shadow, and I'm actually really surprised because I haven't liked a cream shadow in a very long time. So once you have that applied, the next shade that we are going to be going in with is called Hot Springs. I have a feeling that this shade's going to be really pigmented, but I'm going to go in with this Luxie 243 and first initially apply that into my crease. Oh, it's not as dark as I was expecting. Which is actually a nice thing because if you're doing a little bit more of a neutral look, you probably would rather have a buildable formula. And I'm just going to take a little bit more on my brush. And again, applying that into my crease and rounding out this outer V. And then afterwards, I'm just doing these little circular motions to blend it up. To me though, it seems like this shade has a little bit more of a buildable formula to it, which honestly, I actually really prefer with my deeper shades. I know not everybody's into that, but personally, I find it so much easier to work with. And I find that I don't get as many harsh lines either. I'm kind of curious about the deepest shade in here, so we're going to go in with No Bounds again with that same brush. And I'm going to be focusing this in the outer third of my crease. Kind of like rounding out my outer V. I'm not applying it like the whole way. I just want most of the color like right in this outer edge. Ooh, that is a really nice brown though. Definitely a little bit more of a buildable formula because it's kind of a little bit on the sheer side. Because you see what I mean? Once I start building it up, it deepens up a little bit more. And then with whatever's left on my brush, I'm kind of like flicking it inwards in my crease just to help blend everything together. So now we're going to be going in with this shade that I'm the most curious about, and that is this beautiful taupey green shade called Seashells. I'm just going to be taking it on this Luxie, what are you, 209 large shader brush, and I'm just going to be applying it to my lid. But this shade is just really unique because it's kind of like almost like a sage green, but at the same time it has like a little bit of a taupe undertone to it. It's really interesting. I don't know if I have anything like it in my collection. Yeah, I'm just going to go in with my finger because I want it super metallic. Oh yeah. Look how shimmery that is. That is such a cool shade. And I'm just applying it kind of to the center of my lid. And then with whatever's left on my finger, I'm kind of like fluffing it out in this outer edge. And I'm also leaving this like little inner third of my lid bare because we're going to be applying a different shade there in a second. But wow, like that's such a cool shade. I actually really like it next to those peaches too. So now we're going to be trying out the Jelly Mush shadows, and I've never tried out this formula before, but I have heard amazing things. And we have like this kind of like icy one called Mojave Moves. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. And then it has like this little like cap to it, and like that is super, super glittery. I kind of want to touch it and see like how it feels. Ooh, that has like a jelly kind of like texture to it, but it's not like runny. It's definitely like super thick almost. But going on, it feels kind of like a cream shadow. Ooh, that's a really cool formula. And I don't know if you can see it, but it is like super sparkly in person. So we have another Jelly Much in this collection, and this one is called Mystical. Ooh, I feel like this one's gonna be like a dark gold, almost like a copper maybe? No, like actually it's kind of like a darker gold, but it has just like a little bit of like an orange undertone to it, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a copper. I'm gonna put it right next to it. Ooh, that's actually really pretty too. It doesn't seem as sparkly as the other one though. Like it's sparkly, but like the other one looks way more intense. And then this is what they look like up close, and I don't know if you guys can see how sparkly they are, but in person they are extra glittery. I actually feel like these might make really cool liquid highlighters just because of how reflective they are. So I'm just going to go in with the more champagne one. I think it's called Mojave Mobs. Let me know how to pronounce that because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. And I'm just applying it in the center third of my lid. That is not as sparkly as I was expecting. Now I'm going to go right on top of that Seashells and see if it looks a little bit different. I don't know, I was expecting it to be a little bit more intense than it is. And I barely put my finger into the pan either because I didn't know if it would like crease the shadow or not. But it almost seems like the more that you like tap it in, the more sparkly it gets. If you know how to use this formula, please let me know because I would love to use it properly. And I'm not too sure if I'm using it correctly. And I'll show you guys on the other eye too. You can see it looks really intense, and then when you start blending it out, it kind of like dissipates a little bit. You know, on this eye, it actually seems like it's applying a little bit better. It's probably my user error because I've never used this formula before. Because on this side, it looks way more sparkly. And it's a lot easier to use. So I don't know what I did wrong on this eye. But there's definitely a little bit of a learning curve with this. Okay, that Jelly Much shadow though is really growing on me. I feel like it even looked really cool over like navies and like grungy greens, just because it has like that really like glittery yet icy look to it. But off camera though, I'm just going to quickly clean things up a little bit. I'm going to apply my complexion products, my liner, my lashes, and then afterwards I'll be right back to finish up the look. So here's where I'm at right now after applying my complexion products, and I don't have like the full face on because we do have some blushes to try out later on, but I just want to get rid of this crusty lip situation. Like, it is driving me nuts. And I also just really want to try out these Luxe lip oils. Like, they just look so pretty. But unfortunately, I'm a lip liner kind of gal, and you know what, I just want some lip liner before I go in with that. So I'm just going to use this one from Gerard Cosmetics because I honestly don't have a Colourpop lip liner. I know that's really weird, but I don't know where any of them are. And I'm just going to go in with the shade Sugar and Spice. And I'm just going to make sure I really overdraw my lips. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm afraid of needles and I do not want lip injections. And by overdrawing, you can kind of achieve that look. I feel like my lips right now look like that 90s trend, but now we're gonna go in with the lip oils, which I'm just so happy about. Like, these just look so cool. And I think we should do some swatches first because I don't know which color I want to go in with. Like, there's just so many options and they're so pretty. It's like I want all of these, but I only want to use one at the same time. So I'm gonna grab the clear one and, ooh, that smells, it's kind of like vanilla-y, but it's not like overpowering. And of course this is a clear, so you know, there's no color to it. I forgot to say, but this one is called Dewdrop. That's a really cute name for that. Oh, I love that. And the next lightest one, this one is called Skinny Dip. I'm just going to put it right next to it. I really love the applicator of this though, because it's kind of like one of those thick but flat ones, so you can get like all up in your lips really well. So I am assuming that these are going to be really sheer with the formula, because I mean, I can barely see that one. And the next one though is called Playa Visit. Ooh, this one's kind of hard to open. Oh yeah, they definitely have like that vanilla-y scent. And then let's put this one next to it. Ooh, I really like that one. That one is calling my name. And then the next one is called Hotshot, and I honestly feel like Colourpop has the cutest names for their products. Like, seriously, hands down, they have my favorite names. Ooh, that one's really pretty too. I'm seriously so torn between these two because I know they would go perfect with this lip liner. And then the last one that we have is this pinkier one, and this one's called Bangle. Ooh, that's a really pretty color too. I actually expected it to be a little bit brighter than it is, but Swatch, it has like this really pretty like nudie pink look to it. I know I said I was torn between the other two, but I actually want to go in with Bangle, just because I like that little hint of pink, and I feel like it's going to pair really well with the blush I want to use. And I'm just going to apply it to the center of my lip. Super thin in consistency, which I really like because I hate thick lip products. They are literally the bane of my existence. Because I just hate, you know, like when you're talking or you're like eating and you can just feel the lipstick on your face. Like, I just do not like that. It definitely feels like an oil though. Like, it is so lightweight. And also, I really love that color with that lip liner though. Ooh, that's pretty. So if you're like me and you don't really like lip gloss all that much, I know a lot of people do, but I don't know, like I'm trying to get better about it and trying to experiment more with it, but my matte lips are my favorite. But if you're wanting to get into lip gloss and you're like, man, I just hate the feeling of it, a lot of times they're really sticky, you're gonna love this one. Like, I cannot recommend it enough just because it is so thin on the lips. It kind of feels like a facial oil, but you know, applied to the lips. Like, it does not feel like a normal lip gloss at all. So this is what they look like up close, and as you can see, they are a super sheer formula. So now we're going to be trying out these pressed powdered cheeks, and I want to go in with this one called Crossroads first. Technically it is a blush, but I do want to try it out as a bronzer. It kind of reminds me of the Matchmaker blush from the Mulan collection, and that's one of my favorite contour bronzer powders. So I just want to see if this one works. Ooh, she's pigmented. That's a lot more pigmented than what I was expecting. Oh my. I mean, I think the shade works for me, but it might just be like a little too dark. I'm not too sure yet. And the brush that I'm using is this one from Olimar. It is a complexion brush. It's kind of like a tapered, kind of like blush brush, but I really like it for contour and bronzer just because it kind of gets all up in there. I mean, so far I think it's actually a fairly nice color. You guys will have to let me know in the comments down below like what you think about it. I'm kind of digging it. It's not pinky at all on me, I don't think. Definitely has like that orangey, kind of like bronzy look to it. So with this collection, there's two other blushes. The first one is this more pinky one, and this one is called On the Horizon. And I'm kind of considering this one the most just because I think it's going to pair really well with that lip combo. And then we also have another one, and this one's kind of like a yellowy orange shade. And this one is called Wayfarer. I think that's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure. But this one's definitely a little bit more on the neutral side. Yeah, I'm going to go in with the pink one. I don't know why. I just like the color of it. I think it's really pretty. And then I'm just going to go in with this Olimar brightening brush. I'm just going to use it as a blush brush though, like I normally do. And I'm first going to be applying it to the apple of my cheek and then stippling it right on top of my cheekbone. Ooh, that's a really pretty color. Like, that's a really natural color. Like, it's pink, but it's not like a bright pink. Like, if you like more natural pink blushes, you will really love this one. I also just really like it next to that Crossroads shade. They're blending really beautifully together. So let's do some swatches, and the first one is going to be Crossroads, which is one that we kind of use as like a bronzer color. And then here is On the Horizon. And then here's the last one called Wayfarer. And it almost seems like these two are a little bit more sheer than the other one. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. So now we're going to start working on the lower lash line, and I'm first going to go in with that orangey shade that we used earlier and then Hot Springs. I'm doing like a 1-to-1 ratio. And using this teeny tiny little Moda brush, this pencil brush, I'm just going to be applying this right underneath the lower lash line. And then for the inner corner highlight, I'm just going to go in with this white gold shade called Salt On. I'm just going to be taking it on this little tiny Luxie pencil brush, and I'm just going to be packing it super heavily into my inner corner. I'm just going to kind of like layer it up a little bit and also slightly overlap it with that Jelly Pop shadow. But this shade is like super blinding though. It's really gorgeous. I don't know if I necessarily like it next to that Jelly Pop shadow, just because this one's a little bit more icy and the inner corner now is a little bit more like a yellow gold. They're still really pretty. You know, I actually really like the look that we got with this collection. I don't know what it is with it. I think it's just really pretty, and I think it turned out really nice. It's definitely a soft glam moment, but at the same time, it does have a little bit of shine and sparkle to it to kind of like spice it up. So let's talk about the products, and the first one being the cream shadow. And again, I used shade Laurel for this look, and overall I actually really like it. I like the pigmentation of it. I like how it applied onto the eye. It was really easy to work with and blend out, and honestly, as an eye primer, it was really nice too. It did not make my shadows skip or do funny things when blended on top. You can even see right now it has like a little bit of that hint of color peeking through. It's just a really nice formula. But if you have dry eyelids or if you have a lot of texture to your lids, I'm not too sure if you would like this product just because the formula is a little bit more on the drier side. As for the Wild Nothing palette, I think this palette is so cute. I will say the color story of this one isn't necessarily revolutionary, but if you're into warm tone neutrals and you want just something really fun for end of summer, I think you're gonna really like this one. And I will say this shade called Seashells right here is so beautiful and just so unique. I love that one so much. But overall though, like the shadows in here have a really nice formula. You know, the mattes in here are very pigmented and very easy to work with and blend out. And even this darker one right here gave me no problems. And the two shimmers that we used also were really nice and super sparkly. As for the Jelly Much shadow that we used, I think this product is really cool, but I feel like I didn't use it right. So if you have any helpful tips and tricks, please let me know, because I want to make sure that I am using it right. But I will say when I first applied it, I was like, it's cute. But once I applied it to the other eye and I kind of like finessed it a little bit more, I thought it was really gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of a liquid shadow in a way. It has like that like super glittery, extra sparkly kind of look to it. And if you've never used a Jelly Much shadow before, like you barely need any product. Like I barely touched my finger into it to apply it to my eye. And also it does dry down completely. Like I have no stickiness on my eye right now. As for the Luxe Lip Oil, I really love the formula of this. Like, it is so nice. And if you're like me and you hate lip gloss and 9 times out of 10 you find them really sticky, I think you would really enjoy the formula of these just because they are so buttery and so soft on the lips, like literally no stickiness whatsoever. As for the pressed powdered cheeks, I actually really like the formula of these. They remind me of all of my other pressed powder products from Colourpop. So they have a little bit more of a medium, kind of like buildable coverage to them. So if you want them a little bit more sheer, you can do that. And if you want a super intense blushy moment, you can also do that as well. And if you're curious as to my favorites of this collection, I would definitely say the lip oils. I love these a lot, and I feel like they're going to be a summer staple for me. And I also really love the blushes. I think they're gorgeous, and I love the colors of them. But yeah, so in the comments down below, let me know what you think about this look, and also let me know if you're going to be picking up any products from this collection. But as always though, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also give this video a like. And if you'd like to check me out over on my Instagram page, it is @Breyonna. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!